All right, everyone. Let me see. Yes. All right, everyone. So, welcome to my fitness podcast page. And today we have a very special guest, Joe Wilson. He is a judge and also a promoter for the NANBF Federation. So, Joe, I want to thank you very much for coming on my podcast.
Hey, I'm privileged and blessed that you were thinking about me and doing
Yep.
this because we've got a great team with the NANBF, and I do appreciate you reaching out for me for my input a little bit. I've been doing this for a very long time, so promoting since 2007. But I'm glad you got to. I mean, this is your first time as well to promote, and I wish you
Yep.
luck, and I know it's going to go great for you. I'm proud of you,
Yep,
buddy.
yep. Thank you, thank you. So before we get into this, I'm gonna just talk a little bit about my show, and so this is gonna be my show is the Tucson Multiverse Naturals Classic, in November 11th, on November 11th, and this is my first show, as Joe said. So it's gonna be very interesting. I'm ready for that. Put in a lot of work, so hopefully everything goes all right, and we're gonna go from there. So yeah, so Joe, NEMBF, and everyone is has been a great help in this. So as time goes on, I'm sure I'm gonna learn a lot from all these amazing people. So I can't wait. I really can't wait. So yeah, so November 11th, here in Tucson, Arizona. I'm still looking for the venue, but then yeah, that is the date is set November 11th. So please get your friends and family out here and enjoy the show. Okay, all right. So Joe, so as a judge and as a promoter, I know you have a lot of experiences coming into this podcast. So we're gonna share a lot about you because we wanna get to know you. We wanna get to know about what Joe Wilson represents. And either his both his struggles and his successes and how he overcame everything. So we want to know everything about you. So to begin, let's talk a little bit about your bodybuilding show coming on. So you have this bodybuilding show coming on. Joe, can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yes. So this will be the 16th year of the Northwest Arkansas Natural Championships. It's been held in Bentonville, Northwest Arkansas, and this year will actually be in Rogers. So Northwest Arkansas still, it's a great venue, beautiful venue. On July 16th, this is a Sunday, the first type I think in the NANBF, one of the only Sunday shows, and so it's just with a venue correction. We're actually going to have it or a vendor issue. We're going to have the event on Sunday, July 16th, which is just a great time of the middle of the summer. We're right after July 4th. Everybody's still celebrating, still partying, but still can make a show a couple of weeks after that. So this is going to be a great show. We also have it in conjunction with our NANBF Transformation Challenge. It's kind of like a weight loss, biggest loser type of thing where we showcase those that have worked really hard working with a coach or working with some kind of trainer about how to live the best lifestyle and transform their life, but also physically and emotionally, spiritually, all the thing above that, how their body and life has changed. And then in conjunction with that, another one that I'm passionate about is called a pump off, where you would bench press a percentage of your body weight for reps, and that is held as a fundraiser for a club that I sponsor at the high school where I teach at. So I'm a math teacher at Northwest Arkansas School here in Bentonville, Arkansas, and I love it working with kids and try to give them a chance to learn a lot about nutrition and health, and I teach math. So it's kind of wild, but I love it, this passion of bodybuilding of mine. And I had a bodybuilding club at one time where kids got on stage and posed in their trunks, which was kind of fun. And that's when I was competing as well. But yeah, July 16th is a great time. It's going to have plenty of vendors that you can see on the sponsors at the bottom. We have a lot of energy drinks by Rise Energy, Alani Nu, Prime, also G Fuel, free stuff for that. Smoothie King, always a great sponsor there. And then we have a chiropractor. We have all kind of free goodies, and we just want to make this a really good show. Free supplements, a really great event. Everybody likes it. We have a 12 and under division too. We have kids from the crowd if they want to perform, if they want to get on stage, and they can win like a Thor hammer or a princess crown. We got by the crowd votes on the 12 and under division. And but we got great judges. I know I've actually worked with Kwaku at a couple of shows in St. Louis when he was there in that area, and just know that we have a great family within the NANBF, and I'm very, very happy to be sticking with them. I've been with them since 2001. I've been competing since 2001 and been promoting since 2007. And it's just a great, great team like John and Becky Arnold, everybody with the NANBF, Ron Irwin, just great promoters that have great experience that can help each other out. And all of us try to help each other out. So, but yeah, got great sponsors that come to the area, a good family event. And we hope we get people out there as well. Northwest Arkansas, beautiful town.
All right, Joe. Thank you for sharing all that. And as I said, you've been my inspiration going through this, and cause you've stayed at my house before. We've talked a lot about my goals and everything. So, you've really inspired me through whatever you're going through. So, to move forward, Joe, can you tell us why you decided to stick with the NANBF instead of different organizations?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, you are getting into my business here, which is great. I love sharing my story. I guess just growing up, I'm a single parent home, and it was tough to be with an absent father, but I enjoyed being in the gym. I got some older gentlemen that always just they saw I had potential. I loved the feel that it gave me as just lifting weights in general. I have asthma, and so running was not my talent. Basketball, no way. I wasn't very good at many sports, but I could do football okay. I had size, I had strength. And then once I did that, I know playing football at the college level, I went to the University of Arkansas. While I was there, just hit the gym a lot, and someone approached me about cheerleading. So I was like, well, I know that's a pretty technical sport, but I enjoy it. And I'm thinking I'm hanging out with the pretty girls at my school. And so I got into that, loved lifting weights, and my coach saw a lot of potential in me. I couldn't throw a girl up because it was so technical. I just muscled everything up. But then I learned about technique and how important it was in understanding just the flow and how to time things right. And that a lot went into my bodybuilding lifting experience, well, with tempo of learning how to control the weight going down, exploding on the way up, and in different ways of negative resistance, pause reps, time under tension. And so I liked that, and I got the rush out of it and got really good at college and cheerleading, and gave me a full ride scholarship through cheerleading for the Razorbacks. And it's kind of hard to beat that. I get to travel and get to enjoy town, but of course in the long run, shoulders got a little achy doing some stuff. But in that time of cheerleading, a friend of mine asked me to compete in his very first show here in Northwest Arkansas. It was 1999, I believe. I turned 20 that year. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So the guy just said, hey, compete in my show. I'm like, all right, whatever. So 3 months later, the day before the show, I call him. I was like, okay, what do I need to be ready for? And he's like, do you have posing trunks? No. He let me borrow his neon yellow posing trunks. I had no idea. I didn't shave my body. I didn't paint. I didn't know any. I just knew the poses from Ed Corney's Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. I just loved that. And so getting up on stage, getting that experience, end up winning my division, end up winning the overall novice, and got the best poser because with my cheerleading background, I did a backflip in my routine and landed it barely, but it was just, they're like, whoa. And I loved it, and it just got me hooked. And that was with the NPC at the time. Okay. I did not know about the NANBF. It wasn't in Arkansas. I didn't see it promoted. I didn't see posters, flyers when I went to the supplement stores. Had no clue about it. And I just looked up natural bodybuilding, and I saw that was one here in Missouri, in this area, and kind of like where the mecca of where NANBF started. And now we've branched out so many places. That's why we like to find these passionate lifters and bodybuilders that do the natural route, that want to be more involved and try to tell people you can compete naturally. Just knowing that when you take that next step, that next level, it's a different ballgame. I feel you're playing God with your body when it comes to those type of hormones and stuff. So just have faith in God to let you take care of that part with your levels and adrenal glands and stuff, and just have faith, do the things that are right. But I loved bodybuilding, and then started competing in '99. Found about the NANBF in 2001. saw I had a lot of potential just because I had that mesomorphic type of body structure. I wasn't hard. It wasn't hard for me to gain mass, and I loved the exercise aspect of it. And I got on stage and I was like, man, these guys are not really that big, but they're really lean and they're just shredded. And I couldn't figure that out the first few years. And then in 2004, I just kept on competing every year at natural and NPC. But once again, in the naturals, I felt better. I mean, I looked better, and I just know these people have the same vision and passion that I do when it comes to treating your bodies with respect,
Yep.
with the right tools and the right supplements, but also having that drive, because you can't buy a body, you have to earn it.
Yep.
And it's tough, and you want to get better every year. And it's not that I wanted to beat one person up or 5 people up on stage. It was just beating me every year and learning from what the judges, the experts, know what they should be looking for when it comes to symmetry and muscularity and harmony. And I felt good with that, and learned also how to pose, like the transitions, the smoothness, just the grace of practice with body chemistry and flowing with just wonderful movement and music. You can make a performance look incredible. And just even at the IFBB level, it's still amazing. People that really work hard on their choreography and transitions. So yeah, 2004, I ended up doing really well that year. Didn't get my pro card yet. And then I started teaching, started working, had some kids. And then in 2008, I wanted to get back into it. And then I ended up getting my pro card at the Kansas City International Pro-Am. It was, I think, the Mr. International and the Kansas City Classic with an NANBF. Ended up getting my pro card there. Then in 2009, I guest posed at like 12 shows through the NANBF. I tried to compete in 2 pro shows, and then I also did an NPC show. So 2009 was a tough year for me. I mean, mentally, and my body was zapped. But then from there, and then in 2010, I just focused on the competition. I don't know if I competed in Kwaku. Do you remember when were you on stage in 2008?
I don't think you competed with me. I was
Okay.
I was a newbie by then. I wasn't even in the bodybuilding industry. Yeah, my first show was around 2017 or 16, I believe. So yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Oh well, so yeah, you were still a kid, just learning how to pose, riding your bicycle. So 2010, I ended up going to the World Championships. Oh, actually, I'll go back. I did the 2010 NPC State Championships for Arkansas. So basically, it's the state show. Ended up winning my light heavyweight class. No, I'm sorry, I was a heavyweight. I weighed in at 201. And 198.25 was the cutoff, and I was trying to do it, but I was like, I just wanted, knowing that I was still promoting the NANBF, I tried to weave my way into NPC backstage, and like, yeah, right, like I can't find anybody in the NPC that's natural, let alone we're lucky to find people that like they're natural. But you find those white horses, you're like, man, especially like you, Kwaku, you just have incredible genetics, and when your freaking arms are like people's legs sometimes. That you just have, yeah, there it is. I got something there. That's my good arm. But it's just that hard work and getting in there and having just good relationships, networking with others, and that's how a lot of the things that I got through my sponsors, just networking with the right people and just requesting, hey, do you want to help out? I'd love to get your name out there, and that's how I sometimes do it. And my shows are usually paid for by the time my show comes. I have all my sponsors that pay for the event. The venue and all the things that are associated with the cost. That's what my goal is, to have that taken care of. So the money that I make will mostly hopefully come from the competitor entries, and then of course ticket sales as when people come in. And I don't want to say donations, but that usually goes to my club that I have when people want to get involved with that. So, but yeah, 2010. Then I did the World Championships. Ended up getting a kidney infection. Rhabdo. I gained too much weight right at post show. I did not, I guess, what do you call it, a reverse diet at all the right way. But I didn't have a coach then. And I just did it myself and didn't really talk to the coaches that are out now. Just are incredible. I wish more people knew about them. That how to treat them, especially at the extreme level like you and I are at, or just all the pro levels. To know really how to help the body the right way with the right macros, the supplementation, the nutrition. I mean, the whole gambit because we don't know everything. I mean,
Yeah.
even the experts don't know everything.
Yep.
It's impossible to apply everything that we know about how to get our body in the shredded form, most muscular form, and still be healthy at the same time without taxing out our adrenal glands. I mean, all the other major organs, especially your heart and your brain, which I mean, we know carb brain, dehydrated water brain. It's tough to think. So yeah, I had rhabdo. Stopped that for. I had to quit competing for a while. Start up a nonprofit with kids, and then still promoting a bodybuilding show. And then in 2019, I wanted to step back on stage again as a masters because then 2019 I turned 40, and then ended up doing an NPC show, won the masters class in classic physique because I didn't think I couldn't keep up with the bodybuilders at in the NPC, but it was so funny because the head judge there said, "Yeah, you are not a classic. You are obviously a bodybuilder. You too dang big, Joe, to be a classic, even in the NPC." I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's a good comment, I guess, to have. So, and then I end up doing the I think the 2019 Pro International up in Kansas City, and I won that overall against the incredibly chiseled Mark Meadows and from Oklahoma, and just barely beat him. Felt good about that. And then in 2019, later in the year, in for the World Championships in the Memphis Masters under Keith
Keith
Hunter.
Hunter.
Yep, Keith Hunter Sr. there in Memphis. I ended up winning that. And then my body just kind of did a shutdown. As one of the big things that happened to me in 2019 is that this is part of my story that hopefully my testimony will reach to more people, especially who we're talking to, is that I got diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, which is a really tough autoimmune condition in the colon, in the large intestine. And my testimony for that is that, I mean, I tell people, especially with that, and wishing I had the coach ahead of time, knowing that the foods that we eat that are hard to digest, such as like almonds and peanuts, and sometimes like corn kernels, which are kind of tough for the gut, along with harder to digest foods such as like beef jerky or well cooked meat, like red meat, to digest in the body. Because I would eat that a few times a day before going to the gym, not realizing it. And I'm in the gym busting out to get ready for these big shows. And the hardness of the almonds and with the lack of digestion that I could get in there, going to the gym, it just pretty much ripped the inside of my colon up really, really bad, scratched it up, caused inflammation. And then with the amounts of, I guess, dairy in a way, because I was eating a lot of taking 2 or 3 protein shakes a day, doing cottage cheese, yogurt, trying to keep the probiotics up. My immune system went to attack that, and it just caused a lot of scar tissue and polyps in my gut. And I will say, by the grace of God, we found it early, but I was able to still compete. And so I got diagnosed in May of 2019, competed in September and in October of 2019, and ended up winning these shows. However, I mean, I guess the crazy thing, I lost 30 pounds in 6 weeks before I got diagnosed, which I tell people, if you start seeing blood in your stools, please get it checked. Please, 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 before it gets to a point of where it came to me, almost to the extreme point of, man, I'm not feeling good. I look incredible, but I feel miserable. And please, make sure you talk to a doctor about that. And so, but as of November, I mean, since now it's 2023, in November of 22, I ended up getting my colon removed. So I do not have a colon anymore or an appendix from that surgery. So I hope no one ever goes to what I've gone through, and hopefully just seeing how to keep your gut in check, probiotics definitely throughout the year, multivitamins, not taking anything too tough in your gut before going to the gym, or hopefully not staying in your gut before going to the gym, especially with a lot of nuts. And so that's kind of like part of, I guess, my story in a 15-minute nutshell.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very good information, and thanks for sharing your story.
Yeah.
And honestly, I hope people watching will surely learn from this, and that's why I really invited you on this podcast to talk about your life and what you've been through and how you overcame everything, or how you continue to move forward with everything that has happened. Um,
Yeah.
so Joe, with all the struggles you went through, how 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 did you still have the mentality of, okay, I'm still gonna compete? How?
Yeah. That's a good question. The reason, I guess, with the struggles that I had, I know when I tell people I want to do something, especially something that I have a passion about, like with natural bodybuilding, saying that I can come back and I can beat these people, but knowing that it just has to be through patience and consistency, proper discipline, having that goal and being able to achieve it, even when that diagnosis came in. That set me back pretty hard. I mean, it set me back a lot. Um, but having that mentality to get back on track, it's just a lot of prayer, a lot of support from my friends that want to see you succeed. Everybody that you're friends with wants to see you succeed in anything that you put your heart and passion into.
Yeah.
So for me, that was one of my things. I wanted to win a competition at the master's level, and hopefully I could get back to it. Because I mean, I kind of wish I sent you some of my bodybuilding pictures from when I did the masters and won that, and some of the pictures that I took in the gym up to that point. I
Yeah.
was like, man, I looked awesome. And but since then, it's been tough to try to get back into it, just because I now have to get used to a new normal for me, with
Yeah.
especially with diet. It's even harder. If you thought the bodybuilding diet was hard, this is even harder. So, I mean, with the macros, I mean, I love the numbers because I teach math, and I love to balance things in proportion, things that it's just a challenge for me that if I stay with this and can stay consistent with that, I know it shouldn't be my diet. It should be like my exercise, and I can change that up so I can get better results. Am I doing the right protocol of off-season training, preseason, and on-season training, and just following the right way and just learning from my own feeling and I mean, sleep is such a big deal, and just that attitude, an attitude of gratitude. That I mean, we've heard that before, but working really hard and staying focused on the goal, even if it's short term or long term. But for us bodybuilders, on the long term, we got to do it every day. And so depending on how bad we want it, and or if we're willing to suffer some of the things that we have to sacrifice, yeah, but trying to keep that healthy balance is what's necessary. Keeping a family, friends together, church strong, having your relationship with God strong, but doing the right things necessary for our bodies to let it work on itself. I mean, I wish we could say we could look awesome the next day. I mean, you can't do that unless you have that little gummy. Is that right? What Oprah's talking about, that fancy gummy that you lose like 20 pounds in 3 days. But we know it's hard work.
Yep. Yep.
Discipline and having that goal and having coaches that are accountable. So I mean, if you, I mean, I see you're a trainer, Kwaku, and I mean, if I could follow up with you, I just love hearing your voice because it's such a cool. I love your accent. It's so fun to hear from you.
Yeah.
So, but I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, and following what you preach.
Yep.
So you follow with what you say, and you work out hard, given circumstances and given how busy our lives are. You got to set that time aside for your goal. I
Yep.
mean, do a little bit here, do a little bit there, but do it in the right context. Is it going to hit me with my goal faster? Am I going to have to go back and rewind and try it again, do something different, which is out of my normal? So, but
Yeah.
trying to keep the stress levels low and
Nice.
staying happy.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. You guys stay happy no matter what, because with every negative or every bad thing that comes in your life, there is always a good thing. So you just have to have the mindset to pick up that good thing and then move forward with it. So
Yeah.
um so Joe, you talk about you really, really love math. Um and your dedication to the bodybuilding industry. Does it mean you are also a coach?
Ooh. Uh, in the aspect of credibility.
Okay.
I have won multiple shows. I have put together many routines. I am a certified math teacher. I am not a certified trainer, but I do help people just as, I mean, when I was a kid, going in the gym and talking to the people that at least looked like they knew what they were talking about, and not wanting to hear from garbage from people like, yeah, is that really like a fat trainer? You don't want to trust a skinny chef, and you don't really want to trust a fat trainer unless they really say they're in off season.
Yeah.
They're like, come on now, you're not that long of an off season. So,
Yeah.
but so what I do for the coach, and I do a lot of my own kind of reading books by Dr. Lane Norton. I read some of his books. And we got Cliff Wilson, John Gorman, Theobald, Thibodeau, and podcasts, and listen to the U2 as well. So when I see you have one, it's like, okay, cool, this is going to be a good one. And hearing what people have, that a little bit of a nugget that's like, oh, I forgot about that nugget or something. So, but for me as a coach, I like helping people with posing.
Okay.
Sometimes I help with their routine, and I do charge for people putting together their routine. Um, and then when I do help people with their meals and their diet, what I do is, as a math teacher, I help split up those macros. I say, you eat what you want to eat, but just know these are the things that it's going to do for you. Just eat happy, eat complete, making sure you're taking a probiotic, making sure you're taking a multivitamin, omegas, possibly, vitamin D, and maybe some ergogenic like creatine, of course,
Yeah.
protein powder,
Yeah.
glutamine, the essential aminos, just for the athlete. But if they just want just basic overall health, just mostly those probiotic, multivitamin, probably omega, and it's hard for me to tell you the supplements, that just trying to keep a healthy digestive tract going on, and absorbability. And I don't really support tablets so much versus gel caps or capsules or even powder or liquid. So just for the digestion purposes, we've seen the neon yellow pea before. Those
Yeah.
crazy packed in pills of vitamins and nutrition. We're like, I
Yeah.
can't get all that in. So, but coaching wise, I love coaching. Like it, I help with our cheerleading squad. Some people call me Coach Wilson. So I help with since my cheerleading background, I help my high school out with their guys. So we got 7 guys on the team, and I'm teaching them to throw girls in the air and learning the technique.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you said this, because my summer goal, so we always have goals. My summer goal is to earn my CSCS on strength and conditioning. I'm trying to be a certified strength and conditioning specialist, so I can be the strength coach for our cheerleading squad. They already have one for the football team here at BHS, and then possibly for the volleyball and some other sport. But just trying to help kids understand their nervous system and their bone structure, and how important it is as a young age to develop those skills and how to help prevent injury.
Okay.
And so just in getting that diet down part, there's a lot of ways how you can perceive the term coach. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I love helping support people. Like, I can't be your coach because you're too smart for me, Kwaku.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not.
Maybe your
I'm not.
motivational coach. Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. So as you can see, so everyone watching, if you want, or if you need help with fitness, health, and bodybuilding, especially posing, Joe is your guy. Go talk to Joe. You have his Instagram right over there, Big Joe Wilson 123. So hit him up, and just get the relationship going. I'm 100% sure he's gonna help you achieve your goals. Okay. So, Joe, the next question for you is let's talk a little bit about judging. So during can you tell us some of the criteria you guys look for when judging a bodybuilding show?
Yeah. Okay. So I've been judging since, I want to say, since 2010 or 11.
Okay.
And I don't want to say I volunteered, but I was more voluntold by the NANBF. Like, as a promoter, it helps to be a judge, just to know what you're looking for, and it helps other promoters as well. So as the NANBF promoter, we want to try to help others as much as we can, whether if it's like as a judge, if not a head judge, an expediter, an MC. I've been that before, multiple shows as an MC. Now, I don't mind talking because I could sometimes get out and I do some stupid bodybuilder jokes or math jokes or something like that. But being a cheerleader, I was comfortable talking in front of people. But as a judge, it is different. That's a great question, Kwaku. So the criteria for different categories does, and since we've added wellness to this ball game now, it is a little bit tougher, because in the NANBF now, that what We had our first show of the season at the Southern States Classic with John Baking Arnold. Great show. I was a judge, and we put in the wellness category. There were some females that absolutely deserved to be in that wellness division. Some others could have been in either bikini or wellness. And so it is a fine line. So that's where we're at now in the NANBF. We don't allow crossovers in that
In that
division,
division,
but
okay.
we allow crossovers from about anything else. I mean,
Okay.
the wellness can do figure, but we just trying to keep that narrow balance because bikini and wellness are so close. And what we're looking for is almost the same type of skin, type of, I guess, conditioning level, but
Okay.
different, I guess, proportions like in the legs and the glutes
Yep.
in wellness versus bikini. Upper body is about the same, maybe a little bit more muscular in the wellness division. And then depending on conditioning and symmetry and poise is where we go to the women's figure. So how well are the figure looking? And that's usually a lot more of a leaner look than the wellness and the bikini for sure. A different type of suit, different type of posing. And I mean, Quaco, you know how important this is, how posing is so hard to do, especially for each individual's physique. So we can't say this is the exact what we're looking for. So it depends on how foot placement, how shoulder placement, high or low, elbows. I mean, it is a fine tune. So getting with the posing coach definitely helps. I have helped people just through online, through like this before too. I like more hands-on because I can grab you and kind of force you like a stick figure. But just trying to tell you how to position in that hand-eye, I guess you can call it coordination, but that positioning of where your elbows go here versus how to
Yeah.
supinate and where those
Yep.
elbows belong, and shoulder placement when it comes to looking your biggest or the right pose for that category for whatever that we're judging. So, and then you have the women's physique and the women's bodybuilding. It's kind of like the same thing, same category, a lot more conditioned, a lot more muscularity, a lot more poses. I think it's the only one that women actually do the poses for mandatory. But it's all of it is different for each woman's physique. And so, I mean, it's hard to tell a woman, hey, you would look better in the figure when they want to do bikini all the time.
Yep.
So, and it's like, well, then you have to change your diet. You have to change your training. Then, if you want to stick with that category, sure. But as a coach or as someone that's done this or as a judge, you have the right foundation for this category. And it's you can't really tell someone I mean, you always need to be lean, but you don't want to have too much leanness where it takes away from what the criteria of the category is. So, like figure, you can be super lean, but if you're too lean, it looks like you're more emaciated and you don't have enough muscle. So we want to have that fullness still in there where it doesn't look like you've just starved yourself.
Yeah.
So that's why that off season is important, making sure your body in off season didn't get too far out of conditioning. So, I mean, 10 to 15 pounds is usually what I would recommend for all my type of, I guess, my clients, my followers, I guess, whoever that's on my team. But then for men, it's different as well. So for men's classic, which you and Kwaku, I think did you ever do physique, or you're just too big for
No.
physique?
Well, I did physique when I was in Seattle. My first show was in physique. And then
Okay.
when I came to Missouri, I started with classic and bodybuilding. Yeah.
Okay. So you
Yep.
found like your niche, but it also, I mean, I guess the size of the show.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yep.
in imposing. I mean, I don't want to say I can pose for physique. I got 2 block given waist, but I know how to do the poses. But I just don't make it look as good as someone who has a narrow waist that
Yeah.
absolutely would need to stay in that division. So yeah, for men's physique with the board shorts, still really chiseled conditioning. I personally, at a judge's level, look at the width of the back, look at the size of the shoulders. Arms do take a big part of it, but it's not like a huge thing for me. It's just the width, the chiseled abs, and the great serratus and the tightness, and that confident swagger that you can have a little bit more in physique
Yep.
than you can do in classic or in bodybuilding. Not as much of a swagger, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's just that constant good. I mean, narrow waist, especially for the men's physique division, and we want to see a little legs. So back in the past, I mean, this is kind of like my bodybuilding shirt, and I can't fully see it, but this guy and his brand Fam, he had like the really long board shorts, and back then it was okay because we didn't really care about seeing legs. Now we're wanting to look legs. We want to see a little bit of tightness in the physique shorts. So, and that's been kind of like what NPC has been doing as well. So we're like, okay, not saying that we follow them, but they're the leader in, to be honest, I mean, they're the leader in bodybuilding right now when it comes to competitors. It's just, are people going to stay natty, or are they wanting to go to that enhanced version? Which we can't say that. It's just different for everybody. Sometimes it's they have to, just because of what doctors and libido, and I totally understand. So, but I say try to stay as natural as you can for as long as you can until you're like, okay, I'm tired of winning all these natty shows. So I'm just waiting for you, Kwaku. I'm hopefully you never. There's like, I love winning natty shows. I'm just want to keep on winning money naturally. I mean, just like Eric Murphy. Holy crap, that boy!
Yeah, that boy is
Yeah, my
amazing.
gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
that dude.
amazing. Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to beat that type of physique, and he looks like that year round.
yeah,
And
yep,
he knows how to drop water, but
yep,
he's figured it out. I mean, he's figured it out, and so he knows he belongs there in physique.
yeah.
And then you have you like you, Kwaku, and I don't want to say me just yet. I have to get a smaller waist. Well, shoot, now I don't have a colon anymore. Maybe I will have a smaller waist, and I could compete against you. So,
Yeah,
but for the classic, yeah, we want to see more legs. We want to see good chiseled. We sometimes even nowadays, I like to see personally, if a person is tight enough, I like them to wear the right type of shorts and trunks that show a tiny bit of glute, just so I can see a little bit of conditioning. So I was like, okay, if you got butt muscles, that helps me see that, man, you really do focus on the entire package versus just a lot of upper body and arms and great shoulders and a little bit more thickness in the upper body when it versus physique, a little bit more depth in their chest cavity, and of course a little bit of legs. And when you have those beautiful moves, those great positions, those great lines, you can show that nice tie-in from the hamstring and the glute. So, and it's tough, especially some of those fancy moves, to keep those legs tight in those like the rear twisting double bicep, the victory pose. I mean, I love your pose in the very beginning. You know how to keep your legs tight. And like today, it's funny that you say that. This morning I helped one of my previous clients with his posing routine. He just said he's got the diet down. He's looking sharp. He's already at 9%. He's going to be competing at the Oklahoma at the end of July. He's going to be doing the Oklahoma City UMA show.
Women's show, okay.
The UMA and Jane Callan show, their show at the end of July. And so I am helping him with his posing and his choreographing. And so we're trying to find the right song, and I'm excited the song that we're going to be choosing. But he's already ready. He knows these are the poses, and we just refine it. And but yeah, posing is a big deal, especially in the classic, and putting those elbows in the right place. It's a fine tune, and it's a hard thing to do, and you got to do it like almost for daily for weeks on end to get ready for that stage. So you're not sweating, and you can just make it look easy. You're not sweating, you're not oily, you're not exhausted, you're not shaking. So that's what shows a true pro when they get up on stage. Even as an amateur, it's great to see these amateurs that look like they're pros.
Yep.
And they don't realize they're pro caliber until they're like, man, I could actually do really, really good at the pro level. Like, yeah, where have you been? So trying to find those diamonds in the rough, and they're out there. It's just we have to try to expose there is natty bodybuilding, and you don't have to take stuff to, I mean, people want that immediate gratification, no doubt. No lie, we can't. I will admit I am lifetime natural. I've never taken a steroid in my life, but when Andro came out, it was not banned in the WADA, nor was it banned in the Natural Federation. So I took pro hormones, which was androstenedione, but EAS made it. I'm like, oh, okay, and it wasn't banned. So I took it. I got some visible and physical results from that. But now that I know that natty is trying to stay away from that, that's why I want to always try to say, it's like, just be aware if it's in the glass case or it has anything to do with testosterone, definitely you just try to stay away from that. And that's where we say it hurts the actually internal bodies worse than it does what you do, unless you have a coach that knows that or a doctor that knows that. So don't ever do it at a young age. It's just dumb. Kids, I got high school kids at my high school that are already on taking SARMs.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
Upsetting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
no one can really, I mean, the gym, I mean, sorry, the supplement stores, definitely they do good on their part in making sure they're not selling it to underagers, but who's stopping an older person to buy it for a
And giving
kid?
it to a kid. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And saying this stuff worked for me, and giving it to a 20, 21-year-old that just will probably, I mean, will do something very adverse to them. So, but yeah, so from that for the classic, and then you got the bodybuilding. And bodybuilding, of course, a lot smaller trunks, a lot smaller, and a lot more mass that we're looking for, a lot more grainier look. Just that mass monster, kind of like we're looking for upper body and lower body match, definitely with quad size,
Hmm.
hopefully calf size as well. But yeah, those are I mean, I'm a bodybuilder. I mean, John Arnold, it started with bodybuilding. I started with bodybuilding. They didn't have these other categories.
Yeah.
It was just
Yep.
men's bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding. I think when I started, also there was women's figure. I think they may have started in the early 2000s, but that was it. And when I promoted my show, we only had those two: men's bodybuilding, women's figure, and figure just blew up. And like women's bodybuilding kind of started taking a hit, and then bikini hit in. Well, then figure took a hit. And then when physique came in, well, bodybuilders took a hit. And then classic, classic took it from both sides.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, but now the great thing about this sport and the great thing about the NANBF is that you can find out where you belong in whatever category. So if a first-time competitor, hopefully you can talk, hopefully the first time competitor talks to somebody that knows, either as a judge or as a promoter, or as, I mean, anybody that's been in the gym scene a lot, as a coach that's seen what they're looking at, can tell the client what they should go to, what they should belong in when it comes to their physique. In women's, they just, oh, I'm afraid to get bulky. Sorry, women, that's not going to happen unless you start taking stuff. And you already have definitely a built genetic already, and you don't care having the muscle. You like having the muscle.
Yeah.
So, but for women, it's just with the right diet, the right protein, the right coach, and the right lifting technique, and stay safe with it. Sleep, water, supplements. Women's look awesome with muscle. We all agree. Women
Yep.
look great with muscle, and they're never going to be big enough. They're never going to be big like men unless they take steroids.
Yeah.
And so, just women, appreciate people trying to tell you you're looking great. Keep on lifting weights. Who cares if it's heavy? You're proud of
Yeah.
yourself for hitting that PR.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess with judging, I mean, I have not been a head judge before, but I mean, I've judged multiple shows, and I've seen some funny things, and I've seen some shocking things, and some things I'm just like, man, I'm afraid to say online. So, but I will tell people, just as a judge, and for those that want to do this thing, make sure you shave everything, especially guys. I will tell you, guys, make sure you shave down there for sure. It happens. One time I saw a guy look like he was smuggling a chihuahua. He just forgot to shave. And women, probably the same thing. Make sure your bikini line's taken care of. But some people just don't know.
Yep.
That's why I'm here to try to help you guys out.
Yep. Yep. Thanks for all the information. Yeah, you did provide so many great aspect of the judging for men's physique and everything. So yeah, so I believe everyone watching interested in going to the bodybuilding world is really taking very good notes, because this is all you have to know. This is all you have to know. It's all in one video for you. So just watch it, rewatch it, and learn from it. Because this is good information. This is good information. So Joe, thanks very much for sharing that. So before I leave you alone, I would like to bring your flyer back up. Just talk a little bit about, summarize that, and let's move on.
Okay. Yeah. As you see, this is a pro qualifier, which means that in each open class, if there are at least 5 competitors in it and you win first place, you become a pro. As a masters, which we have a masters for all of our divisions as well, 40 plus, if there's at least three people in that category, and then you win first place, you also become a pro. So this is for all of our NANBF shows, typically in general, but except for women's physique in the open. For the women's physique and open, if there are at least 3 in a category, that first place winner will receive their pro card and be able to compete in the IPE Pro League, which is a great show. I mean, great organization. So, but yeah, people that come to the show, It's $40 the day of the show. If you get them online, they're a little bit cheaper. And we got, I mean, you probably get, there's more stuff at the show that you're going to take away than worth the value of that ticket. But it does help support our NANBF kind of, and it fosters us as young promoters as that want to help share this to more people in our state and in our area. But I know Kwaku is going to do a great job. He's got a lot of people to help him, and I know that being in Arizona is a little bit far away from the Midwest, but we all collaborate and we want to help anybody in this organization that we're willing to drive and shoot. I haven't been to Tucson, Arizona before, but if you ask me, better ask me soon.
Yeah, but well, that's why you're on here, right? So so you, I was gonna say, I want you to be on either the judging panel or an MC. So whatever you choose to do, I'm okay with it. So
November 11th.
Yep. So just let me know.
Let me make sure that my wife hasn't set something aside for me first. I don't think it'd be a problem. I know October 11th is my anniversary, my 20th anniversary.
Oh, congrats.
So, but so November 11th, just know that's Veterans Day. But I think you're okay. I think you're okay. But this, so far, it looks open to me for me, buddy. So I want to say right now, pencil me in. Unless you find someone that's better looking, that has a cooler voice, maybe a little bit more jacked than me, you could probably do it. Maybe have bigger arms. I don't know. Then you can be your MC. But no, I'll be happy to help you any way I can.
All right. Thank you. So before we leave, Joe, can you give us your top 3 tips and advice that we should stick with?
Top 3?
Yeah.
Top 3. Okay. For who? For people that want to compete, or promoters, or what?
No, for people that want to compete, promoters, or in general.
People that want to compete. Okay. For people that want to compete, top 3, this is no particular, no importance, like first through third importance. Top 3 tips. Make sure you find a date that can follow your fat loss journey. For example, if you have a show 12 weeks out, expect 12 weeks, 12 pounds to lose. So that's what I try to say. But you want to try to stay kind of lean, getting ready up to it, but then really dieting hard up until that day of that show, peaking the right way on that day of the show. So making sure you time it right for the right show that you have. Get a coach. Definitely get a coach, whether if you have to get maybe 3 coaches, meaning one for diet, one for training, and one for posing, then it's just going to be expensive. But if you can have a go-to person that knows those things, definitely get a coach, because it's good to rely on that person on the accountability part, that if you do everything exactly that they prescribe to you, just follow the coach, just follow the protocol, because some of them have a lot of experience in finding out what works best for you rather than knowing what's best for you. I mean, we feel that way, but we got to stick to a protocol. We got to try to stick to that discipline, to have faith in our coach. So that's 2. So 1, make sure you time it out right. Number 2, get a good coach. Number 3, don't stress out. So I guess when you think of all the things that are going on, just have trust that God's going to take care of you. Have faith that people around you are going to support you, but ask for help. Don't try to do a lot of this bodybuilding stuff on your own. Just talk to people, but apply it and do it the right way. And things that help that not stress out, making sure you're getting plenty of sleep. That's important. That helps with less stress. And just try to have a happy life with the things that cause less stress.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say like, my wife and kids sometimes get the best of me when it comes to my stress, and sometimes my job gets the best of my stress, but that's why I go to the gym. That's why I have my go-to place where I can find my stress-free zone. Sometimes it's in the gym. Sometimes it's in the Word. Sometimes it's in the Bible. Sometimes it's just with a friend. But trying to make sure that my mind's not always on competing. Like, don't let it stress. Don't let it consume you. I just ask you don't let it to consume you so you can get stressed out about that. But follow it, and I guess just being consistent is the big. I mean, there's a lot more tips I can be with that. But okay, so time it out right. Get a coach. Don't be stressed.
All right, Joe. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts, giving us advice and tips to live by. And for everyone watching, thank you for coming. We're gonna see you on our next podcast where we talk about more about the life and entrepreneurship of one of our NANBF competitors. So stay tuned and make sure you take notes, learn and learn from Joe's video. Okay. Thank you very much for coming, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Kweku.
Yep.